Well, hey folks, it's Father Matthew again. Today is Holy Saturday. The year is 2020. I want to share with you a couple of thoughts about what Jesus does on Holy Saturday. This is the day when we express the creed that Jesus descended to the dead. This is when he does that. So what is Jesus doing? Is he just twiddling his thumbs, waiting for the resurrection? The tradition holds that he's actually doing something really profound. He is bringing all of the just who were waiting for him, the Old Testament saints, if you will, into new life. You can find depictions of this in Christian artwork that show Jesus leading a procession out of death, out of the netherworld. The gates of death are shattered. He's carrying the cross as his sign of victory, and following behind him are Adam and Eve, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriarchs of Israel. People like Moses, David, some of the other Old Testament prophets. So Holy Saturday really was a day of activity when Jesus went and proclaimed the good news of his death and resurrection to all of those in the netherworld and invited them to accept salvation. In the Liturgy of the Hours that priests and religious pray each day, there is 5 offices or hours that we pray each day, and one of them is the office of readings, where we have some psalms, an extended reading from the scriptures, and then usually a reflection from the church fathers. Today for Holy Saturday we have a reflection from an ancient homily that's from an unknown author that really sums up what happens on Holy Saturday. So I wanted to share that with you today as some thoughts and reflections, because it really struck me as I was praying the office of readings this morning, really how profound this is, what Jesus really does on Holy Saturday. So this is what the ancient author has to say. Something strange is happening. There is a great silence on earth today, a great silence and stillness. The whole earth keeps silence because the King is asleep. The earth trembled and is still because God has fallen asleep in the flesh, and he has raised up all who have slept ever since the world began. God has died in his flesh, and hell trembles with fear. He has gone to search for our first parents, as for a lost sheep, greatly desiring to visit those who live in darkness and in the shadow of death. He has gone to free from sorrow the captives Adam and Eve, he who is both God and the Son of Eve. The Lord approached them bearing the cross, the weapon that had won him the victory. At the sight of him, Adam, the first man he had created, struck his breast in terror and cried out to everyone, "My Lord be with you all." Christ answered him, "And with your spirit." He took him by the hands and raised him up, saying, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. I am your God, who for your sake have become your Son. Out of love for you and for your descendants, I now, by my own authority, command all who are held in bondage to come forth, all who are in darkness to be enlightened, all who are sleeping to arise. I order you, O sleeper, to awake. I did not create you to be held a prisoner in hell. Rise from the dead, for I am the life of the dead. Rise up, work of my hands, you who were created in my image. Rise, let us leave this place, for you are in me, and I am in you. Together we form only one person, and we cannot be separated. For your sake, I, your God, became your son. I, the Lord, took the form of a slave. I, whose home is above the heavens, descended to the earth and beneath the earth. For your sake, For the sake of men, I became like a man without help for among the dead. For the sake of you who left a garden, I was betrayed to the Jews in a garden, and I was crucified in a garden. See on my face the spittle I received in order to restore to you the life I once breathed into you. See there the marks of the blows I received in order to refashion your warped nature in my image. On my back, see the marks of the scourging I endured to remove the burden of sin that weighs upon your back. See my hands, nailed firmly to a tree, for you whom once wickedly stretched out your hand to a tree. I slept on the cross, and a sword pierced my side for you, who slept in paradise and brought forth Eve from your side. My side has healed the pain in yours. My sleep will rouse you from your sleep in hell. The sword that pierced me has shattered the sword that was turned against you. Rise, let us leave this place. The enemy led you out of the earthly paradise. I will not restore you to that paradise, but I will enthrone you in heaven. I forbade you the tree that was only a symbol of life, but see, I who am life itself, am now one with you. I appointed cherubim to guard you as slaves are guarded, but now I make them worship you as God. The throne formed by cherubim awaits you. In heaven, its bearers swift and eager. The bridal chamber is adorned. The banquet is ready. The eternal dwelling places are prepared. The treasure houses of all good things lie open. The kingdom of heaven has been prepared for you from all eternity. I hope those are some encouraging reflections on what is happening on this Holy Saturday as we await the joy of the resurrection and the joy of Easter. God bless you.